we got a great leadership group that'll do a great job. And so yeah, that's tough news, but that's the reality of any team sport, right? There's injuries are part of it, unfortunately, and we got more than enough in our room to get the job done.
And then obviously big weekend, getting a 5-point cushion, but with the way it can go, does it feel like you got some breathing room, or just keep going, doing what you're doing?
Yeah, we don't spend too much time talking about the standings. We just focus on the next game and trying to get better. I thought we got better last week, and then we were the weekend before, and that's the goal coming in. We've had a good week of practice here. It's a little shorter week, right? We're playing Thursday, Friday, so we'll have one more skate tomorrow and try to take advantage of that practice. And but yeah, we're just focused on one game at a time and try to play our best every game we play.
We talk about Red, in this stretch. You have 5 games on the road, dual in the D, and then you're going to go into postseason play. I think you're one of 2 teams that has clinched NCAAs as of today. I'm curious, like, when you have different guys stepping up into those leadership roles, I guess how exactly does that work for him? Like, how do you get that like in the league?
Well, I think that's just the group in general, right? We got 4 guys that wear letters, but I don't think you have to wear a letter to be a leader on a team, right? And so it's definitely the whole group of guys that does a great job of it, and for sure we're going to miss Red, and you're right, it's a challenging part of the season, but I don't think it's fair to our group to say, hey, woe was me and woe was us. We have injuries. Like, that's every team goes through injuries, and so it's how you respond to it. And we got, like I said, more than enough in the room to get the job done, and it's opportunity for other guys. Like, you want more opportunity, here you go, and take advantage of it.
What will Red's role be on the team now that he's injured? I mean, how has he been a leader these past 3 games while he hasn't been playing, and what do you think is going to happen with him going on?
He's done a great job. He's down on the bench for practice. He's around, and I think that's important, right, for him, even just for him, is make sure you're still around the team, stay in a routine. I think he can encourage guys. I think when you're up in the stands and watching the games on TV when we're on the road, and finding ways to lift guys up, and our sport's a hard sport, right, and it doesn't always go your way, and our guys all respect Red, so I think taking the time to make sure he's still invested in the team, which should do a great job. And then there's away from the rink, right? I think being a captain or a leader or a guy on our team, right, is that it's one thing when you're in the locker room, but if you're back in the apartments or in the classroom, we're not around the guys all the time. That's why leadership is so key with the guys. So he can do a great job with that. He already has, and even after the games, you can tell, he was excited when we won this weekend, and he'll do a great job with that. And I think it's something he takes pride in too, right? He's put a lot into helping us get this thing going back in the right direction, and you don't have to be on the ice to continue to do that.
You have one of the youngest teams in all of college hockey. You've mentioned that, but also on the other end of the spectrum, you got, I believe, 9 guys that have played over 100 games of college hockey. How unique is that, and how does that help you moving forward, especially towards the end of the season and into the playoffs? That unique situation, because don't know if a lot of college hockey teams can say that.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the stats of how many, I don't know how common that is or not, but I do think our guys have been through a lot. You look at Tanner and Gooch, they were here in the transition, so they've been through some hard times, right? And I think that helps, form your character and staying with it and grit. And then some, the guys that, when we first got here, we were trying to get it back going. And so I think it's one thing just to look at games, but like the quality of games that our guys have played in, the fact that, we've been ranked where we've been ranked, and you have to play your best every night if you want to get the results. So I think a combination of all those, like for sure, that's we are young for sure. If you just look at the age of our team, or we're the youngest in our conference. But I do think when you watch our team play, we do play with poise, and that takes time a little bit. It takes recruiting the right type of kid and right type of family. But yeah, we think that experience, even though we're young on paper, we do feel like we have an experienced group.
Coach, you mentioned some new guys getting spots in the roster. I know Griffin has played the last few series, kind of joining that 4th line with Mikey and Shane, and Austin starting as the extra skater against these games. What does that say about your guys, especially some of these younger guys, freshmen, sophomores, that are coming into these really big series against Big Ten opponents, tough teams like Minnesota, and they're really just giving it their all every single time they get on the ice?
Yeah, it says a lot. I mean, I think it's not easy when you're not in the lineup, right? And I get it. We ask all of our guys. We ask a lot of them, and we practice hard and train hard, and we feel like we provide what they need to be the player they want to be. But at the end of the day, we got to put together a roster, and it doesn't mean you're not a good player if you don't make it. Especially we have a deep team, right? But you got to keep your head in it and keep a good attitude, and it's the old, not when my number's called, if it's called, right? And you're not entitled to playing, you have to earn it, and doesn't mean you're not a good player, and you gotta do the right things, and Griff's a great example of it, right? He's, he's been in and out in his time here, but he brings energy every time he plays, and he adds something to our team. He throws positive things on the pile, and that's what you're looking for, and I think he's a good guy for other guys on the team to look at. His attitude never dipped. It wasn't tripping over his lip, and I think that's really important for what we're trying to do, right? And I think perspective, right? As I know everyone wants to play, and I want all of our guys to want to play, but at the end of the day, pretty lucky to be able to play hockey at Michigan State. Pretty lucky to have the health that our guys have. Hockey's not a cheap sport, right? To have the support from their parents to be able to get to this point, is something that should never be taken for granted. So I think a combination of all of those kind of forms the identity of your team, of a team that's going to do it as a team, and you need guys like that. Like that's part of the foundation of our program.
Adam, teams don't generally stay the same. They either get worse or they get better. This team appears to be getting better. As a coach and as a staff, how do you keep that competitive edge so that continues?
You're right. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest challenges in sports, right, is complacency, right? And you especially the world we live in, right, with outside noise and social media and people telling you how good you are, and we've really tried to help the group stay grounded on things that matter, and really what matters and have substance is you get better and you put the team first, and just take it one day at a time, right? And especially again, I think in our sport, right, there's some sports where your best player can have the ball and you can really influence the game. In hockey, you can control a game, and there's a goaltender, right? And so you're looking at quality of play, but these guys have done a great job of we got to keep doing it, right? You can't assume that's going to keep happening. They got to stay disciplined with their mind and their thoughts. That we got to be a hungry hockey team here, and it's not about the scoreboard. It's about getting better, and us playing our best every weekend. And it doesn't guarantee you're going to win, but we want to make sure when we put our skates on and put that jersey on that the other team sees our best.
Bouncing off that a little bit, do you feel the intensity a little bit more as the season goes on? This group has, and do you want a little bit more intensity as the season comes to an end and we hit the playoffs here coming soon, or you just try to keep it even keel?
Yeah, no, I think that we talked about that as a group, right? And when I got a chance to work in the NHL, it was pretty cool to see. Right around February, the league kind of changed. It became a different league, right? And points mean that much more. Not that they don't mean a lot in the beginning, but everyone's kind of ratcheted up for playoffs, and we want to do the same, right? As we want to be playing our best hockey, and I feel like last weekend we played pretty good, and and if you look at our playoff structure, it's one game shots, right? So you can't wait till then to crank it up. You got to be playing playoff type hockey, this time of the year, and I think our guys are starting to trend towards that. We still got areas to grow, but I think our guys take pride in that. Like this time of year, we want to try to play our best. I do think one thing our guys have done a great job is we've been consistent. If you look at throughout the season, I think we've been a consistent team, and again, you can't assume that's going to keep happening. You got to keep respect for what we need to be as a team. But I think our guys have done a good job of that.
Adam, if you ask people from NHL teams, other hockey programs, they tend to credit player development to you and the way you coach and your systems. We ask you always credit it back to the players. And I'm curious, that leadership philosophy, where exactly does that come from? Where did you learn to do that?
Well, I think, I grew up in a small town, right? So if you want to do something, you got to go out and earn it. I think both my parents were college athletes. They didn't play hockey, but they knew that there's a certain amount of sacrifice. But at the end of the day, both my brothers, ended up playing college hockey. It was always, this is going to be your deal. Like, if you want to do this, you got to do it. We'll support you, and I feel the same in coaching, right? We'll support our guys and give them everything they need, but I really believe in player development. Players are responsible for 80%. We're responsible for 20%, and I think you need to get the players to understand that. And sometimes I think in our world, it's, I got to hire another shooting coach or a skating coach or a checking coach or a forechecking coach, and I think all those things are great and part of it, but I think you can start losing the focus on this is your responsibility and take responsibility for development. And that's why, we're not a team with a ton of rules, or it's based on, make decisions based on the player and team you want to be. So if you're not committed and you're not going to class and you're staying up all night, don't come into our office and say you want to play in the NHL or we want to be the best team in the country. So I think that's really important in development, is making sure that the players understand you are responsible for your development. And we're not looking to get the credit. And I think we hired a staff that believes that too, right? They're all here to try to help and support our guys to reach their goal.
Coach, kind of adding on to that, I know after Saturday's game you mentioned that the weekend felt pretty close to a full 120 minutes of hockey, but I know you're always kind of looking for more from your guys, building that development. I'm curious if there's any specific areas you're really looking for these guys to grow in these next few weeks of the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about a couple of things, right? I think, and it's hard, right? The other team wants to win the game, but you're put in tough spots. But, really taking care of the puck when we break the puck out. You can't make your problem someone else's and chuck it around, right? So there's time to make a hard play hard, and there's time to support it and making sure we're clean. I think we play our best. I think, if you want to be great in D zone, be great breaking the puck out, then you probably don't have to play in the D zone. And then the other thing would be maintaining our identity offensively. I think we're a team I think we've scored the second most goals in the country. Sometimes you can deviate from that and want it to be cutesy, and I think if you watch our team, we play team hockey and we make a lot of nice plays, but you can never be on the perimeter. We got to be a team that gets to the inside. So those are the two things I think we got to keep growing.
And I know you need no encouragement to talk about Tom Izzo, but he turns 70 this week. I don't know if you plan on coaching till 70.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But what example does that set, not only in terms of his record, but the leadership role he's taken here at his age and the energy he has at age 70?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, he's a machine. I think he's a freak with that. It's just like you said, his energy, you go and watch his practice and his passion for recruiting, right? You look at what goes into his job. We all see the games and traveling and all that, but the recruiting side is demanding and competitive, right? So you got to make sure you have energy in that area. How much he does in the community, right? It would be easy for a guy like him to just kind of wipe his hands and I'm just going to coach the basketball team, but I mean, he's so engaged in the community. I watch him interact, with fans or people in the community. I mean, the guy can't go anywhere, right? And I think that's a ton of respect. So you add all that up, the fact that he's going to be turning 70, and I didn't realize it. If I had to guess it, I would guess 55. But honestly, he's a machine that way and a great example. But I think where probably the root of it is, Tom's never forgot where he came from, right? He's a Uper. He really embraces the opportunity and the privilege to coach at Michigan State, and I think he's in it for the right reasons. You watch his guys interact. Like when I went to Spain with my wife with the basketball team there, how much they respect Coach, and that's because they know Coach cares about them. And I think you see on TV the intensity and all that, but I can tell you, being around the guys, they got a ton of respect for Coach, and they know that he cares about them.
How fun was the Red Wings game last night, and how fun is it to see them kind of turn it around under new leadership there?
Yeah, it was fun. Got to bring the family down there, and I was talking to some of the people down there, and you get to see a lot of the guys that work in the rink, and exam guys and security guys and trainers and coaches and people that you spent a lot of time with, right? 3 years in that league. You talk about the length of that season. You spend a lot of time there, and that's probably the second game I've ever watched as a fan there. Usually, I worked in the building, but you're never there as a fan. So I just sit there with my family, but yeah, it's been awesome, and I think it takes time, right? I mean, you look at the league and the parity. I mean, you can win a game and you're right, like the one last night, and they're right in the hunt. If you drop a couple, you're chasing it, and I mean that's what the league wanted, right? With the salary cap is competitive, and any team can win any night. And but yeah, the atmosphere was great, and definitely heading in the right direction. Good. Thank you.
Thanks,